Hello, genealogists. This is Craig, and we begin our process of examining genealogical standards as found in the second edition revised of Genealogical Standards, which was produced by the Board for Certification of Genealogists. And this is where I caveat and say I do not represent the Board for the Certification of Genealogists. I am just an associate of the board. I'm not a trustee. I have never been a trustee. However, I believe firmly in the standards and what the Board for Certification of Genealogists means. You will hear this each time that we discuss a standard at the very beginning so that everybody is perfectly clear that you're not going to say, but Craig Scott said. All I'm going to give you is my opinion on the matter, and it's worth about squat. And we'll leave it at that. Today we're going to talk about standards for documenting Standard 2, which is specificity. So let me read it to you first, and then we'll talk about it. Specificity. Genealogist citations connect one or more sources or information items with, bullet, each statement the genealogist makes that is someone else's observation, deduction, or opinion. Bullet 2, each fact that is not common knowledge. Bullet 3, each image the genealogist shows of someone else's creation. Bullet 4, each conclusion the genealogist establishes, including each parent-child link. The specificity of these connections leaves no question about the basis or source for each statement, fact, image, or conclusion. And it reminds us to see the glossary for definitions of conclusion, image, and information. So let's talk about that for a moment. So basically, if it comes out of your head and you originated it, you created it, then you're good. If it doesn't come out of your head, meaning somebody else put it into your head, then it requires a citation. You can go to Wikipedia, download something from Creative Commons, it requires a citation. You can go to a book, pull out a quote, it requires a citation. Pretty much whatever you do that you don't create, you don't observe, or you don't deduce, or is not your opinion to begin with, that you have to cite. Now, one of the problems you're going to encounter is that you have a lot of stuff stuck in your head and you may not remember where it came from, but it's in your head, so you think it's common knowledge. So you have to deal with that issue. Remember that just because it's in your head doesn't mean it's common knowledge. Remember, just because it's in your collection doesn't mean it was originally yours. So these are the kinds you kind of, I think the rule of thumb is, if you got it from somewhere else, then you have to cite it. That's the simplest way to look at it. If you sat down and drew a picture that wasn't a derivative of somebody else's picture, just drew a picture, an illustration, that would be you, if it was your original work. So you need to define things as your original work and then things that you have derived from your exposure to other people's work, and then decide how to cite from there. It doesn't take long to go through these individual standards one by one, does it? So this is Craig, this is Just Genealogy, and don't forget about number 2, specificity. In other words, be specific about where you got your stuff. See you tomorrow.